Welcome back, and thanks again for joining us for another episode. But before we get started, I'd like to give a shout out to our sponsor. If you've been considering pet insurance for your dog, look no further than Prudent Pet Insurance. In fact, just last week, one of my dogs needed some medical attention and the bill was over $1,400. After submitting the claim to Prudent Pet, it was processed and settled in no time. I wanted to say that I'm incredibly happy with their services, and I know you will be too. Their pet insurance plans cover a variety of needs for your pet with plenty of customizable options. Plus, if you sign up through the link in the description, you'll get 5% off. Today we'll be discussing the 3 primary principles to dog training, which is timing, motivation, and consistency. First, we're going to start with timing. It's been scientifically proven that we have approximately 1 second to influence a dog's behavior. So this means that you have 1 second to reward a dog for a behavior you would like repeated, and 1 second to correct your dog for a behavior you would not like repeated. If the reward or the correction does not come within 1 second, then your dog will not make the connection. As soon as your dog makes a movement that indicates the behavior you want to capture, you have to either deliver the primary reinforcer or the condition reinforcer within that first second. The same principle applies to actions you would not like your dog to repeat. The moment your dog does the behavior in question, you have to deliver either the primary correction or the condition correction within a second of your dog doing that behavior. Here's an example of how important timing is. So let's say you're doing a downstay with your dog and you're in a wide open space such as a football field, a fenced in one. And while you're walking away from your dog across the field, your dog breaks the downstay without you seeing, and then your dog decides to run to you. And when you turn around and see your dog running at you, you correct your dog for breaking the downstay. Even though you believe that you corrected your dog for breaking the downstay, you actually just corrected your dog for coming to you. Since you didn't see your dog break the downstay within the first second, you shouldn't have corrected your dog. Instead, you could have ignored the behavior, reset and tried again, or you could have done what I would do, which is reward the dog for coming to me, then reset and try again, because we want our dogs to always know that it's good if they come to us. The next principle is motivation. Your dog will always do whatever is most motivating. For example, if you're trying to get your dog to perform a sit and his favorite thing surrounds him, let's say rabbits, and he's going to be more motivated to chase the rabbits compared to his motivation to work for your treat. It's essential to keep in mind that dogs can be motivated by many things. They can be motivated to access something pleasant. They can be motivated to access or prevent something unpleasant, or the behavior itself is fun. By ensuring that you always provide the most motivating factor for your dog, you'll ensure reliability within your dog's obedience. Now, there are 4 ways you can motivate a dog to perform a behavior. You have food, toys, affection, or force. And it's important to learn how to use all 4 types of motivation within your training if you want reliability. Another factor to consider is the speed is based on motivation. So the more motivated your dog is, the faster your dog will perform the desired behavior. And aside from the motivating factors, the next important element is your dog's level of perseverance. Something that throws many people off is when a dog has low perseverance and gives up when something seems too challenging. For example, you're trying to get your dog to do a spin. It's a common command that I like to use for a treat. And he stops halfway through. This dog has a lower level of perseverance. He gives up, where other dogs might do the entire circle to get the reward. In these situations, you have to adjust for the dog's level of perseverance. If they give up easily, you want to reward the dog midway through the completion of their behavior until they learn to do it the entire way. They build success with more success. So some dogs, however, will have a higher perseverance and require less adjustments. As such, that type of dog is easier to train, like my dog Ari. Principle 3, consistency, or what I would like to say, cause and effect. This one is paramount because even if you have bad timing or wrong motivation, your dog will still learn if you are consistent. This involves always being consistent with what you want and expect from your dog. If you let your dog jump up on the furniture one day, don't correct your dog for jumping up on the furniture the next day. If you are inconsistent, you can create stress and confusion for the dog you're training. You also want to be consistent with the way you say your markers or the condition reinforcers, as well as your commands. Remember, your dog doesn't understand the word sit. Instead, your dog hears a sound. So you want your commands to always sound the same, meaning you shouldn't constantly be changing the rise and inflection of your commands. Sit should always be sit. On the other topic, let's discuss predictability. This word is not part of the primary principles, but you must always keep it in mind for dog training. Always think about your actions as you train your dog and if they are becoming predictable or not. You can use this to improve the training process, or by contrast, it can create problems. For example, let's say you love taking your dog to the beach, and this is an activity that your dog also enjoys. And your dog runs around and plays, and every time you're ready to leave, that's when you call your dog to you. Eventually, your dog will learn not to come to you when you call because you've created a predictable pattern that calling equals leaving the beach, which your dog doesn't want. Instead, you would always want to play come when called games. This is something that I like to do at the beach that would predict release and reward, like maybe with a ball or a toy. This way your dog will enjoy coming to you when called. It's a simple concept. If your dog can predict something, then your dog can learn it, just like obedience. You say the command, then you show the dog the physical cue. This way the dog learns that when you say command, it is followed by the action that gets the dog into the position. Once the dog knows this, you no longer need the physical cue because it is now predictable for your dog. And on the topic of consistency, there's a mistake that some owners like to make, which I would like to mention, which is playing tricks with their dog. And this can destroy the trusting relationship. For example, a lot of owners like to play fetch and they may pretend to throw the ball, but they really didn't. And then everyone gets a laugh when the dog goes chasing after nothing. While this could be a funny thing to do, it could actually have a negative impact on your training process, especially if you're trying to become a professional dog trainer. There are many more examples, such as getting a dog excited about thinking that it's feeding time and not feeding them, or other practical jokes played on the dog. A dog may not understand the humor or the jokes that are intended and could lose trust in the owner. An owner who frequently plays tricks will discover a dog that stops caring or taking anything serious that the owner wants to teach. So today we've covered the 3 primary principles of dog training, what they are and how we can use them within our training. Remember, timing, motivation, and consistency. I want to mention, if you guys like the shirt that I'm wearing or any of the other shirts that I've worn on my show and you want to support the channel, you can pick one up at nateschomershop.com. I'll also be sure to leave a link in the description. Also, if you need additional help with your training, I offer Zoom training sessions and in-person training sessions. All the information for that will be provided in the description below. Thanks again for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing to the channel. Remember, dog training is supposed to be fun. We'll see you next week.